Good morning, everybody. Hey, Michelle, how are you? Trying to adjust my tripod here a little bit. How are you guys today? Happy Friday, everybody. There you go, that's better. Hey, BD, how are you? Thank you for tuning in to another live event. I am good, Michelle. I'm having a good morning. Just drinking my morning coffee. And I am very excited to be sharing about a very nice book called Essentialism by Greg McKeown. And I think you guys are gonna enjoy it. I'm pretty sure many of you probably have read it. Good morning, Cecilia. How are you? CJ, thank you for coming back. Just playing my singing bowl a little bit to get grounded. I invite you to just chill out a little bit. Just take a few deep breaths. Just connect with the present moment. We are here all together this morning. We all set the intention to be here this morning. So I think that's great. Eva, hola, from Spain, my country. And you have my daughter's name. My daughter's name is Eva. I'm pretty sure you are Eva, but we call her Eva here. It's more cute. It's from the movie, I don't know if you have seen the movie Wall-E and Eva. They are two robots from Pixar. It's a very nice movie. So we decided to name her that way because of that movie. I have been decluttering and feeling awesome. You are so inspiring. I am so happy for you, Cecilia. I am so honoring your words and celebrating your success. What have you decluttered so far? Hola from Ecuador. Hola Maria. Hi Michelle. Yes, please share, Cecilia, what have you decluttered and what clicked for you? Because you sharing these things are going to inspire other people to do the same. And I want to start the session by inviting you to share a win that you had this week. Please celebrate something that happened to you this week that made you feel well. And it doesn't have to be anything extraordinary, guys. Just tap into the gratefulness. I am grateful. It could be as simple as I am grateful because I'm still alive. Honestly, just find something that makes you feel grateful and share it. I myself, I am grateful because I proposed the new course topic for Insight Timer to Insight Timer and they approved it. And many of you have seen in my circle that I have been asking questions about what do you struggle with when you are trying to create your clutter-free home. So the name of the course is Creating Your Peaceful and Clutter-Free Home. So I am doing a special live session on Monday that you can join to talk about that course, to talk about all the challenges that you guys are facing, and to invite you to share anything that you want me to cover in that course. So Cecilia says, my linen closet, 13 pieces, all sheets and towels. Amazing. That's a great start. My son, you are grateful for your son. I am grateful for good sleep and dream time. Sleeping is so important and so underrated, but guys, your mental health relies on sleeping well. Grateful for the fresh air the smoke has cleared. I'm so happy for you, CJ. That must be really hard not having fresh air. And all of us, we probably take that for granted because we have it. But as soon as it is gone and we don't have it, we realize, wow, like such a luxury, right? What we have every single day and we just forget. Grateful I'm able to visit with friends living across the country. It's been so long. Yeah, Rosemary, I feel you. I feel the same way. My family is back in Spain and we haven't been there in almost 2 years now. So it's pretty... I feel really sad when I think about that because my daughter is growing really fast and I feel a little bit guilty of being here so far away. I declare the clothes in the drawers. Amazing, BD. Grateful for my curiosity for improving my well-being. Becca, yeah, that's awesome. Curiosity, I love that word. Curiosity, it's just such a nice word. I've been buying some new things and getting rid of old. Very nice. Actually, my wife just did that last week. She came home with towels, new towels and new cushions for the couch because they were actually really, like, they could almost walk alone and they were really old. So that's awesome. Hello, Michelle. Thank you for your for directing me here. Yay. Hello, Creative. I'm grateful for friends, Banda, and Creative. Amazing. It's nice to see friendships in this community. Okay. So guys, take a couple of deep breaths. We're gonna get started, okay? I'm grateful for friends. Yeah. So just remember why you are here. You set an intention to be here today. Just disconnect from all tensions that you may have. Let everything out for this hour that we have together, okay? And just allow yourself to be present, allow yourself to enjoy, be curious, okay? Share anything that you feel in the comments below and just have fun, okay? So I thought that I will start a trend of sharing others' resources because everything that I do, it's always inspired by someone. And in my work, a big piece of my work of being able to help others declutter their lives, it always comes from me getting inspired by others. And that's why you may see me in other teachers here on Inside Timer taking their courses, watching their lives. I love reading books, especially the ones that go mainstream and everybody's talking about, because that means that something in that book triggered people's curiosity. They wanted to really see what that about. And this was one of them. Like, how many of you have read this book? I'm just curious to know how many of you have read it. My mom passed away a year ago today. Glad to have places to be with supportive friends. Oh, sorry about your loss, Cecilia. And your course to make declutter fun. Yeah, guys, I am on a mission. So Rosemary says yes, Essentialism, but yeah. So some people have read it. How many people don't know about this book? Okay, that's amazing. So I just took some notes for me to share the main takeaways of the book, and I am happy to have a conversation at the same time. Never read it, that's okay. If you have a library or if you want to buy a copy, that's good. Whatever you feel like. I always use the library system, and I got this copy from the library. But yeah, when I read it, I really liked it, and it's a nice way of reminding you what's essential in your life. Okay, so the first thing that I want to show you from the book it's this, because I think it represents very clearly where we are. Okay, what do you see there? What do you guys see on this picture? It says energy inside the circle. So this is one example that says energy. It's going everywhere, but not very far. And this one is energy, and then it's just shooting up really far away. And that's a really good representation of our energy, okay? Where are we placing our energy? And yeah, scattered in all directions, right? When you have your energy placed in like 1,000 different places that you even forget where your energy is, you are not being intentional, you are not allowing yourself time to really ground yourself and decide what is most important now. What happens is that you are busy. Who is busy here? Guys, who is busy all the time? I'm busy. Oh, I'm so busy. Summer has been so busy. But busy doing what? Is good busy? It's busy that makes you feel well, or is it busy that you don't even know where you are? Okay, so that's the representation of this one, right? You are busy and you are just, it's like someone is pulling you, like 1,000 people are pulling you from different directions, right? And you just don't know, you are kind of doing this and you don't know where you are. This one here is the one that you say, wait a second. Yeah, I have all these options, I have all these possibilities, but right now, my priority is this. and then you do this with your energy. From doing this, you just do this. And then all of a sudden, you are shooting your energy in a very straight line. And this is what happens when you do that. Your energy goes way, way, way further. And this doesn't mean that you have to do that forever. This means you can say, my priority for the day is, my priority for this week is, my priority for this month is, and it doesn't mean that you stop doing other things in life, but you are setting your priority and your intention to prioritize that specific thing. It's never a busy that feels good. Yeah, Claudia, it's never a busy that feels good. That's this morning. So, for example, in my case, I decided that Insight Timer is one of my main priorities right now. So creating the new course is one of my main priorities for this coming month. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to be doing other things, but my mind is going to be thinking about that course. I am going to clearly ask people about the course, gather information about the course, and then once the course is created, I will reassess and think, what's the next priority for me right now? And that means that in my day, if I have 6 hours, 8 hours, or whatever many hours of time for me to dedicate to my business, the first 3 to 4 hours are going to be dedicated to that. And the rest are going to be doing emails, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean, right? So, yeah, it's a giant Mars symbol. Mars is the engine of the zodiac. Amazing. Okay, so that's one of the first pictures that stuck to me and say, that's really cool. So, and then this is another page that I really like from the book. So this is a representation of what life could be like. And this is a representation of what it could be like when you have clarity, right? When you say, this is the thing, this is essential for me versus this. And I just want you guys to tell me, how do you feel when you see this? And how do you feel when you see this? And then you will notice the difference between here, right? Like one feels like chaotic. It's like there is no intention, everything is everywhere, right? The other one is kind of like circle around, and then there is a clear thing in the middle, and then it's kind of, you are protecting that thing, you are setting the intention around that thing, it's flowing, it's a circle, infinite circle that never ends, and it's like, it's that flow of life that sometimes we get into, and that's what we are trying to connect with. So some of the things are, it does a comparison about non-essential versus essential. Yeah, focus, exactly, CJ, focus. So a non-essentialist, a person that is non-essentialist will say, I have to, it's all important. How can I fit it all in? How can I do everything, okay? The essentialist will say, I choose to. Only a few things really matter. What are the trade-offs? So if I were to say yes to all these things, what are the trade-offs of me saying yes? So that's a very nice way of, then about doing. The person that is not essentialist, they will react to what's most present to them. So they will be reacting every time to the thing that seems to be the most important thing. So they are always putting fires off. They are always like reacting to things, okay? Saying yes to people without really thinking about it. Yes, I can do that. Oh, yeah, absolutely, because you are a people pleaser, because you don't even allow yourself the time to stop and say, is this really what I want to be doing? Can I fit it in my calendar? Is this my priority this week? You don't allow yourself any of that. You just say, sure, yes. Tries to force execution at the last moment. So something comes your way and you try to force getting that thing done, even if it's not in your agenda. Doesn't matter what. The essentialist, the person who is an essentialist, will say, they will pause to discern what really matters. So they will allow themselves a little bit of time to really think about it and really think, is this fitting me now? Is this something that I want to do now? Does it feel good? So you are checking in with yourself, okay? Says no to everything except the essential. Says no to everything except the essential, okay? Guilty, yeah, that's a feeling that will show up, especially when you are trying to say no. You're gonna feel guilty, but that's normal, that's a process. And removes the obstacles to make the execution easy, okay? Removes the obstacles to make the execution easy. So first, they allow themselves time to get clear on what is it that they want. Second, they will protect that thing by saying no, by creating time, by allowing space and time and energy to be able to do that thing. And the third, they will remove obstacles. They will try to make the execution as easy as possible. If I could do that, I was a lucky person. What do you mean by that? Because, guys, another thing that this book says, and we will get to it, is that we all have the power to decide how we react to things, okay? We cannot control the world. We cannot control what comes to us. We cannot control how people are feeling, what people are expecting from us, but we can control how we react to those things. We can control if we say yes or no. We can control the dynamic that we are creating with other people. And if we say no 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, people are going to get used to it. People are gonna become aware that you are gonna be able to think. You're not gonna say a yes and that's it. They will know, oh no, Emilio most likely is gonna think about it. So I'm not expecting an answer from him right away. And they won't feel like bad anymore because that's my way of thinking and processing, right? So, but that takes a little bit of time. I just made my own drawing as a reminder today. Thank you. Amazing, Stephanie. I love it. Okay. And then the last thing, the non-essentialist takes on too much and work suffers. So he's suffering through doing things because you are taking on so much work that you just can't even do it. Feels out of control. Is unsure of whether the right things got done and feels overwhelmed and exhausted. Who here feels overwhelmed and exhausted majority of the time? It is really hard when one has pets and kids. Beth, what do you mean by that? I have pets and kids, and I want to understand what you mean by that. What's really hard? Saying no? I am me. Yeah, so I feel the same way a lot of times too. That's why I am intentional about creating processes, creating habits, communicating clearly with my wife, because if we don't do that, we will go bananas. We will go crazy. We will start fighting with each other. We will start not being happy with our life. We will just be in chaos all day long. And what happens when you are in chaos all day long? Is it fun? Can you find the time to do things that you love? Is life worth living? Honestly, to me, it's not. It's just, I'm just grumpy. I'm just not happy. I can't create courses. I cannot show up for life like this. I wouldn't have energy. I will be all day just fighting, right? Know exactly what the author is talking about. Yeah, so lives a life that really matters. So the essentialists, on the other hand, they will say, chooses carefully in order to do great work. So they are choosing what they want to do because they know themselves and they know if they're gonna do a good job or not. And they know their boundaries. They know how much energy they have. So they know what they can say yes to or not. I started by saying, replacing the word busy with active. I say at work, my schedule is active. I have more proactive control rather than saying I am too busy and unavailable. It has helped tremendously. Thank you so much for sharing, BD. That's a great strategy if it's working for you. So the essentialist feels in control. He feels in control, or she gets the right things done. What the right things mean, the right things to you. So Beth says there, pets and kids' needs don't always align with my priorities. Okay, Beth, I'm gonna pause here and answer this question for you. There are things in life that they need to happen, okay? You cannot control them and you have to facilitate them. Being a mother and having pets, those are responsibilities that you cannot say no to. You have to be there for them, okay? So that's not that choice, but you are aware of that. You know, okay, I cannot say no to this. That's what happened to me when we had our daughter and we have our cat and we are self-employed, we don't have structure. We were going bananas. I was going bananas. My wife was going crazy. We couldn't do the life that we like. I didn't know when I was allowed to go to the gym. I had no personal time for myself. So what we did is we sat together and say, okay, we need to take care of Eva. We need to take care of Negrito, our cat. We need to work. We need to have couple time. We need to have me time. We need to exercise. We need to have time to read and creativity. So we need all those things in our lives, right? How can we make it happen as much as possible? Being aware that our daughter Eva is going to take a lot of time. But that's a phase of life. We chose to be parents. We have to do it, okay? So in your case, maybe you cannot have the expectation that you're going to have 8 hours free every day for yourself. But maybe even 1 or 2 hours a week can make a huge difference. I know of parents that they don't even have 2 hours a week for themselves. And I know parents that they do. And I can tell you, I notice a difference right away in the way they behave, in how happy they are, in the things that they do. And majority of the times, people who are feeling well, people who are finding the time, is because they took the time to communicate with the partner. They took the time to communicate what they need, when they need things done. How can we make this better? What are our frustrations? And then you start building a system that is not going to be perfect from day one, but it's going to start building over time until it feels good. Okay? Excellent points. I would like to learn more about these strategies. Do you have a circle we can join? Yes, I do have a circle called Your Thriving Lifestyle. Okay? Your Thriving Lifestyle. Let me see if I can type it here for you. Your Thriving Lifestyle. Oh, my phone is moving. There you go. Thank you, BD. I guess I can ask you guys for help. Thank you so much for being proactive, guys. It really helps me because typing here on the phone is not easy. Okay, so just keep in mind that first of all, you have to remind yourself that doing this is a full-time job. It is a lot of work, and it's a stage of life that you need to understand. So by you understanding this, your expectations are going to lower. So you are not have expectations of I'm gonna be able to do the life that I used to have before. Okay, and then if you have a partner, if you have people living with you, if you have parents, create a circle of support around you. So what we did, for example, we utilize friends sometimes. We have a babysitter. We have Samantha's parents that live 1 hour away. Sometimes we try to get a weekend off with them. She goes to daycare 4 times a week. So we try to create something. And then my wife and I, we designed our ideal week. So she stated So she said, these are my frustrations, these are the things I want to do, and these are the times I need to do them. So I want to do yoga this time a day, I want to do this time a day, and I want to know when I have free time, that is just my time. And I'm not interrupted, I'm not expected to do anything. And same for me. So we put that together and we create what I call our ideal week. And then that ideal week allows us to be free, because now I know my boundaries, I know when I'm responsible for Eva, I know when I'm cooking, when I'm not cooking. So I have very clear expectations of what I'm supposed to be doing, okay? And then that changed over time. 1 week we tried it, it didn't work, we tweaked it. The next week we tweaked it, and now it's working really well. We do 50% of the time with Eva, we cook meals and do dishes 1 day each, and then we found a flow that works for us right now. If we find frustrations in the future, if anything changes, we will sit down and we will address what can we change here to make the situation as good as possible, without forgetting that we have a daughter and pet, and we have to take care of them, okay? So I hope this is helpful. Okay, so yeah, so just read this. I don't know if you can read it. Yes, establishing the structure and clear expectations, boundaries goes far. Thank you. I hope, Beth, that what I said was helpful to you. I know that every situation is going to be completely different. In every family, the dynamics are going to be very different. But clear communication, stating clearly what is it that you need, your frustrations right now, and asking for help. That help can come from your partner, can come from your neighbors, can come from people around you, from your family, can come from other parents at school, if that's an option, can come from so many different ways. So don't close yourself, try to be realistic, because there are other parents out there feeling the same way that you are. So if you were to partner with other parents, and we do this with a couple of friends, not as often as I would like, because I will make it weekly, but 1 weekend we take the daughter, it doesn't have to be a full weekend, could be just a night. 1 night. Imagine if we take their daughter 1 night for like 3 hours, and then The following week, they take our daughter, and then we rotate with just one couple of friends. So all of a sudden, we already have one night off for ourselves to do whatever we want. Imagine if we partner with 2 sets of friends. All of a sudden, we will have 2 nights every week. Imagine if we partner with 3 sets of friends, plus our parents, plus a friend that wants to take Eva. So all of a sudden, you start opening up time, opening up experiences for my daughter, on top of us getting free time to do what we need. So there are so many different ways of doing it. It's like practicing the skills so that I can improve my feeling. Yeah. There is an amazing book, guys, that I will recommend for all the parents. It's called Time to Parent. And I'm happy to do a live about it if you guys want. Time to Parent. Okay, it's by Julie Morgenstern. Guys, if you are parents, read that book. I am a professional organizer and I loved it. Yeah, Time to Parent. I'm gonna make a note because I think it's worth making a live actually. But let me know if that will be something that you guys will be interested in doing. Okay, so just read this, guys. What happens if you don't prioritize? What happens if you don't prioritize what you want to do? Who is going to do it for you? So if you don't set the priorities for yourself, who is going to set them for you? I would like a life even though I'm not a parent. Yeah, because that life, that can apply to other things in life. Yes, that quote, people at work will put a kind of things on my calendar unless I block off the time. Also, one thing that you do, Emilio, that often goes unspoken, you are proactive with your personal voice. You take the step to use your voice to activate what you need. I think that sometimes it can be a little more challenging. As women, our voices aren't always heard. Yeah. The tone of voice, the delivery of things is really important, and tapping into different energies, guys, is so important. I don't know if you are aware of the different energies that we all have inside, but we have the warrior energy, we have the lover energy, we have the magician energy. So there are so many different energies that you can tap into, and depending on the situation, you can speak in a specific way. Your tone of voice can be differently. Your expression, corporal expression, could be different. But yeah, if you don't take the time to prioritize and get clear on what you want, other people, other circumstances are going to set those priorities for you. And what happens when other people are setting priorities for you? Are you going to like them or not? And the response of men partners can be challenging. BD, I agree with that. But that's why clear communication is important. That's why so many times we men don't really understand what's happening. We don't have a glass ball to understand how you guys feel. And I'm talking from experience. Sometimes Samantha gets upset with me because she says, you just don't understand me. And then I tell her, like, honestly, honey, I'm really trying my best. If you cannot be more specific with me, I just don't know what to do. So you have to help me out here. And I'm just clear with her. It's like, right now, I don't really understand what you are trying to get from me. So you have to give me an example, just simple. I'm like a little kid trying to learn. I'm curious, I'm open, but I don't know how to do it. So just remember that sometimes, like, if you are not clear, people will not know what you want from them. Okay? So you have to be a little bit more specific. So I hope that helps too. So the steps from this book basically are, so step number 1, he's inviting us to explore. So before deciding anything, he invites us to explore our possibilities, explore our options. So the more we can explore, the more time we allow ourselves to explore, find out the options that we have in front of us, discover how we feel with each option before we decide on something. It's so important, right? So he says, first you have to explore, okay? So explore all the possibilities that are in front of you. Then you evaluate. So then you think about, how am I feeling with this? What will happen if I do this? Is this my priority or not? Do I want to pursue this? So once you get clear and evaluate the one that makes you feel well, more excited, that seems more right to you, then you eliminate, okay? You eliminate anything else that is not going to support that. And again, this is not a long-term thing that you have to do. You can do this for a week, for a day, for a month. It can be applied in many different scenarios. But the first thing, you explore your options, then you evaluate, okay? See, connect with yourself, see how you feel, and then eliminate anything else that is not serving you, any obstacles that you may have. And then the fourth is execute. So take action, okay? But then how easy it is, guys, to take action when you know what you are doing? How easy is it? Is it difficult or is it easy? You know exactly what you are doing, you have eliminated all the other options, and you committed to something. How easy it is to decide, how easy it is to take action. So in the execution, okay, so you have to try and make, he says, try to create a system or systems to make the execution as effortless as possible, okay? So try to create a system to make the execution as effortless as possible, okay? So how do you feel, guys, with this framework? Does it make sense to you? Is this something that you resonate with? Yes. So would you say that you are able to do this? Right now, are you able to do this? Yes? Make execution as effortless as possible. Yeah. How do you make execution as effortless as possible? By being organized, by being clear about what you need, by setting up a space that facilitates the things that you want, by creating boundaries that you understand and people understand, by sharing what you are doing with others so that they can support you and they can understand what you are doing and why. There are so many ways for you to make the execution as effortless as possible. Finding help, finding a coach, keeping yourself accountable. I already have a weekly schedule now, so yes, I can. Yes, Linda, you can. By putting on the jams while you execute, absolutely. What happens when you put the jams when you execute? You are getting yourself in state. You are getting in the right mindset. Sums up much of what you have thought, Emilio. Yeah, that's what I want you guys to realize. Like everything that I'm speaking, you will see that all the books that I'm gonna be sharing, the root of them, it's pretty much the same. Okay? The structure is pretty much the same. Different words, different how-to strategies, different ways of, different angles at looking at things, but the essence is the same. The essence is becoming aware, that in this case is exploring and evaluating. So becoming aware of what you want, how you feel, what's something that excites you, just become aware of that. And then here he says eliminate, I say declutter, let go of whatever is no longer serving you, and then take action, right? And then maintain. So the maintenance is like creating a system. That's the organization aspect. You create a system, you find homes for everything. You create a clear schedule, you create something that you can follow, a nice filing system that you can follow for your papers, and then you maintain. Then the action required to maintain is effortless because the system is gonna help you do it fast, efficiently, and then you open up time and space and energy for other things. I'm finally learning to say no to some things, clears the path for more focused energy. Absolutely. Yeah, and then this is another quote that I want you guys to read. Okay, it says, the ability to choose cannot be taken away or even given away. It can only be forgotten. This is the name of the book, Claudia. Welcome. It's called Essentialism by Greg McKeown. Okay, so the ability for you to choose cannot be taken away. No one can take that away from you, and you cannot give it away either. The only thing that you can do with it is forget that you can do it. So so many of us, we forget that we have the ability to choose. We have the ability to say yes, to say no, to say yes, and I want to do it this specific way. Or to say no, I cannot do it today, but maybe tomorrow I may have some time. Or to say yes, I can do that. What do you want me to remove from my calendar for me to be able to do that? So you have the choice, okay? But if we forget that we have the choice, then we are a victim of our circumstances. We are a victim of our life. We are a victim of our boss. We are a victim of whatever happens in the house. We are a victim of everything in life because we don't get clear. We don't set boundaries. We don't get grounded, and we don't say, no, that's not what I want, okay? That's not what I want. And this is why I don't want that. So I want that instead. And for me to do that, I'm going to change this, this, and that. And then all of a sudden, what happens? People who don't choose will fall in your choosing, will do what you want them to do, right? And if you find someone that is also choosing for themselves and you choose for yourself, then you will create healthy boundaries together. So you see the dynamics that will start forming here? So you have the ability to choose always. Even if you haven't done it for years, it is true that you are going to face resistance from people, especially at work. If you have always said yes and all of a sudden you start saying no, people are going to be upset because they don't want to do the work. They want you to do the work. But you can choose, I'm trying to be more minimalist. I'm trying to be more essential. I'm trying to be more clear on the things I'm doing. So give me a few minutes to think about it. Or will you please send me an email and I will tell you my next availability for this? Or I understand that until now I have been doing this, but honestly, it is not my work and I feel my mental health is suffering. So I need to open up my calendar. I need to put my energy in the right place. And right now, what you are asking me to do is not the right place for me. You can find so many different ways of saying this, creating that boundary. And what do you think is going to happen when you start doing this? People are going to change how they interact with you. People are going to change the expectations they have from you. People are going to change the dynamics they have with you. So you can find loving ways of doing this without being no. So if I say no, how do you feel? You feel like, whoa. But if I say, oh, you know what? Like lately I've been feeling a little bit down. My mental health has been suffering. So I'm trying to be more intentional in life and I'm trying to do this and that. And I'm actually feeling better. So let me a little bit of time to think about it and I'll get back to you. So you can find different ways of expressing this. So let's keep going. So remember, the non-essentialists will say, I have to, okay? They don't even think about the choice. And the essentialists say, I choose to, okay? So they are exercising the power of choice. They are allowing themselves the time to, do I want to do this? Is this the right thing for me? Okay? So thank you, Linda. Virgo rules, Excel spreadsheets. We are in Virgo season, the time of organizing. Yeah, I love Excel. I use Excel to do the accounting of my business. So love it. Okay? So this is nice. So a non-essentialist thinks that almost anything is essential. Everything is essential. Almost anything is essential. The essentialist thinks that almost everything is non-essential. So do you notice the difference here? So a non-essentialist thinks that almost everything is essential. So they feel kind of forced to do everything because they feel responsible. They feel that they have to do it. An essentialist thinks that almost everything is non-essential. So they basically question everything. So their mindset is like, everything is not essential. Is this thing essential? So that's the question that they are. So they are questioning very clearly, is this thing essential? Yes or no? And it's going to be most likely a no. And then by doing that mindset, you are going to be able to reduce what you do a lot. Okay? So just think about it. So the next thing I want you to share with you is we're gonna dive into the explore. Okay? So remember, the explore is the first step. So we have explore and evaluate, we have eliminate, we have execute, okay? Thank you, BD, for your donation. So inside the explore, this is exploring your options. This is allowing yourself the time to get clear with yourself, okay? And they talk about a concept that is mind-blowing. Escape. Escape, guys. What does escape means to you? And I want to share a quote from Pablo Picasso. Without great solitude, no serious work is possible. Without great solitude, so time alone, no serious work is possible. So he's inviting us to, this is not escaping from your life, okay? It is kind of, but basically it's inviting us to escape from the busyness of life. Escape regularly. This is what I call self-care, guys. What do you do when you meditate? What do you do when you need to get out in the woods by yourself and go for a walk? What are you doing when you just want to go something by yourself? Do something by yourself. Just be with yourself. What are you doing? You are escaping. And that doesn't mean that you are neglecting. No, this is allowing yourself time, space to separate from the busyness of life, okay? And then you, from that, it's like you are in a forest. What happens when you are in the forest? You cannot see anything, just trees around you. What happens when you have the chance, you allow yourself the chance to get out of the forest, maybe go on the top of a hill and just see the forest from the outside? Do you get more clarity about where you are, where you can go, how the forest looks like? Is it easier for you or more difficult? Is it easier because you are not distracted? You are not in the middle of the chaos, in the middle of trees and forests. You are taking distance. You are escaping from the forest so that you can see the whole thing at once. You can understand. You can become aware. Okay, so that's what this concept is. They are inviting you to do that. Even Jesus will go to the mountains to contemplate. Guys, every religion, what did Buddha do? She went into a cave. What did Jesus do? Did that? Any religion you look at, the solitude, the escaping, it's part of their process. Okay? And now it's called self-care, it's called mindfulness, it's called whatever name you want to call it. But that's what this concept means. Okay? So the non-essentialist will say, is too busy doing to think about life. So you are too busy doing to think about life. So you are too busy in the forest trying to find a way out that you don't have the time to even look or think or get out of the forest. You are trying to get out, but you don't even contemplate. You don't even escape. The essentialist creates space to escape and explore life. So you see the difference? The non-essentialist is too busy doing. I don't have time. The essentialist creates the time to escape and explore life. So if you don't allow yourself that time, you are not able to be intentional. You are not able to ask yourself, get grounded. You are not able to see what's important, what's not. And then your life is going to be a constant chaos of things happening that you don't have control over. And you are reacting to those things all the time. And those things, you don't even want them. Most likely, they are just happening and you are just putting fires, but you never take the time to step out and think, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing what I want to be doing? Am I being efficient with my energy? Does this feels good to me? You don't have time and space to even think about that. Okay? So just for you to think, that's really good. Okay? Creating space for yourself. So important. So the next thing I want to share with you. Oh, I love this one, guys. I love this one. What did you read there? Play. Guys, who here forgot how to play? I'm pretty sure parents are more aware of because they have to play with their kids. But how many of you forgot how to play in life? And life just became so serious that it's just so boring. Please show again. So it says, play. Embrace the wisdom of your inner child. And then there is a quote. So play, embrace the wisdom of your inner child. So there is a quote that says, a little nonsense now and then is cherished by the wisest men. So it's basically saying that playfulness is accepted by pretty much everybody. Everybody will smile at it. What happens with kids? They start playing, and the majority of the times people just get into that playfulness mode and they just get, it's infectious, right? Unless you are completely disconnected and so busy that you don't even see the child. Yeah, so playfulness, you have to include playfulness in your life, guys. It's so important. So, okay, I'm gonna go a bit faster here because I'm running out of time. Next one, sleep, guys, sleep. Okay, protect the asset. I love playing, guys. I can tell you like 1,000 examples how I include playfulness in my life, and I can actually do a live on how to include more playfulness in your life, because it's so important, guys. It's so important to be aware of how can you be more playful. Even commuting for me now, it's playful. I step on my skateboard, I step on my scooter, I step on my bicycle, I rollerblade, I sold my car. Honestly, that's just one way of 1,000 that I try to be playful. But sleep, guys, sleeping is so important, and the book mentions it. Sleep, protect the asset. So important. Okay? And then just about sleeping. So the non-essentialists will say 1 hour less of sleep equals 1 hour more of productivity. So 1 hour less of sleep equals 1 more hour of productivity. So basically it feels like sleeping is a waste of time. The essentialist says 1 hour more of sleep equals several more hours of much higher productivity. Maybe that's why this is so fun, because you are playful with something that can be so difficult. Thank you for bringing your playfulness. Sleep is good. Yeah, thank you, BD. Absolutely. I try to make things fun. That's why I have my own business, guys, because when I was working for someone else, I didn't have that space and time, and that I didn't have space to be creative, to be myself, to play. It was just very strict, very like box, very like, so I could do it, but it just didn't feel true to my nature. So that's why I have my own business. That's why I do what I do, because I love it and I can create my day and I can play as much as I want. And if it's weird for some people, I don't care. But it makes me feel well. And at the end of the day, you have to do something that makes you feel well, okay? So then we go into selecting, right? You just described my current situation. I have been so busy that I forgot how to be me. I realized my mistake. That is what brought me here. Thank you. Thank you, Danny, so much for being here. It's so easy. We all forget ourselves so many times in life. It's just a part of life. I forget myself so many times in life. And then my wife takes me almost from the neck and shakes me like this. And then she tells me like, have you done anything from your self-care list today? Or just get out on your skateboard and go for a ride. Or she says, did you juggle your balls today? Or let's just play a game. I don't know. She tries to get me out of my state, because sometimes I go down the rabbit hole too. Everybody does, guys. It's normal. So that's why you have to be aware of it. And that's why you have to have support. You have to ask for help. You have to be open to receiving help. And you just have to be yourself. And sometimes you're going to be sad. Sometimes you're going to be happy. I try to be happy all the time here, but that doesn't mean that I'm happy all the time every day. That's not the case. But I try to get myself in state, because I want to serve you guys. I want to do something that is fun for you. But that doesn't mean that I don't have sad moments, and I embrace them too. I have my own counselor. I also sometimes do a circle with other men, and I do work there, deep work. And my wife and I are doing a couples program. So there are so many things I'm working on, right? Inner child, stuff like that. So let me see what I can do. So in the eliminate, I want to share with you so the non-essentialist has a vague general vision or mission statement, okay? The essentialist has a strategy that is concrete and inspiring to it, okay? Thank you, Becca. Sorry, I'm losing some messages here. Thank you for that reminder. I love my work so much I forget to actually play. Doing other things I love, like rolling, skating, and flying my kites. Yeah, and sometimes it may feel weird. Go to the playground with your children or just by yourself, and then you start playing, and then it's kind of weird because all the parents are normally sitting down, just watching their kids, and then I go there, and then sometimes I set up my slack line, sometimes I'm juggling my balls, sometimes I'm just kicking a ball, sometimes I'm playing my didgeridoo. I'm always trying to do something fun, right? That I have fun too, because it's not just my daughter's life, it's my life too. And it's just funny to see like how weird that may be for some other people, okay? But I don't care. So the next thing, say no, guys. It says dare. How you dare to say no? The power of a graceful no. Okay, and it says, this is a quote from Ernest Hemingway. Courage is grace under pressure. So courage is grace under pressure. So that means that anytime you are under pressure of having to give an answer, you have to be courageous to say, give me some time to say no, because it's work, guys. It takes work. Saying no is not easy, because you are facing judgment, you are facing making someone else upset, you are facing having to have that difficult conversation, you are facing a lot of stuff that requires your energy, and we tend to avoid that because it's so much work. It's easier to say yes and then suffer through the process sometimes than to confront the no, to create that needed conflict, to create that needed healthy boundary that is required for you to change, for you to create what you need in your life. But if you don't do the hard work, you will always be suffering through the way. You will always be a victim of saying yes. So you have to be courageous. And that's something that the book says really clearly and beautifully. Okay? And then I want to finish. I think I have more things, but because of time, I want to finish by sharing some of the ways that the book invites you on how to say no. Okay? They call it the no repertoire in here. And I just love it because, so option number one, these are ways for you to say no, okay? Option number one, the awkward pause. So the silence. So instead of being controlled by the threat of having to say something, you just pause and you just let silence be there. And then silence is uncomfortable. And then so many people feel inspired to say something because they cannot handle the silence. It's just too much pressure, right? So one way is like leave silence there and then maybe ask a very short question that is inviting the other person to have to justify why they are asking for that thing, and just leave silence. Just be silent. And then that so many times, it's enough for people to say, you know what, it's fine. I can do it myself. Or you know what, I thought, yeah, it's better. So just silence. That's one strategy. Just be silent. The soft no, or the not bad. So for example, he says, I recently received an email inviting me to coffee. And I replied, I am consumed with writing my book right now, smiley face. But I would love to get together once the book is finished. So let me know if we can get together towards the end of the summer. So that's a soft no, a way to say, I cannot right now. You explain the reason why, but then you are giving them an option. So you are not saying a flat no. You are saying no right now, but I can do it in the future. Okay? You can practice this by email first. If doing it by in person it's a little bit too much for you, you can just do that by email first and then start flexing the muscle. Number 3, way of saying no. Let me check my calendar and get back to you. Guys, if someone tells you that, will you be offended by it? Or will you be, yeah, that makes sense. Everybody has a calendar. Everybody needs to check their calendar, right? So would you say that that's something that you will feel well with that response? Because if the answer is yes, you can use that response to people, right? Let me check my calendar and I will get back to you. Another thing that I use a lot is like, right now I don't have my calendar with me. Would you please send me an email to remind me of what you need, and then I will get back to you. When I do that, guess what happens? I will say that from 10 to 20 requests, probably 75% of them don't happen because they never take the time to send me an email. So that's how important it was. That's how important it was for them, right? They didn't take the time to send me an email to remind me. So I already eliminated a lot of stuff just by doing that. And if they do take the time to send me an email, that's a sign for me that they are actually being very, very intentional. That's a sign that they are actually very serious about this. It's not something that they just said emotionally speaking. It's something that they have thought about, that they feel good about, and they were able to create the time to send me that email reminder. So I'm gonna take that request more seriously than a plain request just by verbally. So that's another strategy that you can use. Right now I don't have my phone with me, or right now I'm not sure, I have my mind somewhere else. Would you please mind to send me an email to remind me, a text message, whatever it works for you, okay? Number 4, use email bounce backs. So that's one that you can just say, oh, my email, I never got the email, right? That's a polite way to say no to something that you don't want to do. It's basically you just don't answer the email. I don't really like that one that much. Number 5, this is a good one. These are all great ways to say polite and keep my time open for my priorities. Yeah, Danny, it is. So another one, say yes. Can you do this, Emilio? Yes. And then you ask, what do you want me to? So what should I eliminate from my calendar to be able to do that thing? This works really well at work. My boss, so many times he was coming to me, Emilio, I need you to do this. Say, no problem. What do you want me to put on hold? What do you want me to not do today? So now what happens here? Now I am making him think about it. And it's funny because majority of the times, this was my boss. He was coming, I was doing work. Emilio, could you please do the blah? And I said, no problem. What do you want me to not do today? What do you want me to clear from my calendar in order to do this thing? And then he will be like, forget about it. And then he goes, and guess what happened? He went to my coworker. And then my coworker couldn't say no. And then he ended up doing the task so many times until he learned. But it was funny to see that strategy works really well. You are not saying no, you are being polite, and you are putting the ball on the roof, on the court. So those were some examples. Number 6, so say it with humor. So I recently was asked by a friend to join him in training for a marathon. So my response was simple, nope. He laughed a little and said, oh, you practice what you preach. Just goes to show how useful it is to have a reputation as an essentialist. So this is something that the more you do this, the more people will expect you to say no. And if you can be playful about it, if you can just be yourself in a way that it makes the other person smile. If you can do that, then people are going to take you more relaxing, that they're going to have more fun with you, and they're going to take the no way nicely. So yeah, back on his plate. That's a good exercise. Yeah. So use the words. So number 7 is like, you are welcome to X, I am willing to Y. But this is your say. So this is something that you can say yes, but it's a conditional yes. For example, imagine that my sister calls me or a friend calls me and says, hey, I have work on Thursday night. Could you please babysit my kids from 5 to 8? And then I take a pause and then I think about it and say, okay, I'm happy to babysit. Okay, I don't want to commute to where they live because they live really far, like an hour and a half away. So I don't want to drive 1 hour and a half away each way for me to babysit their kids. But I am happy to babysit their kids. So instead of me saying no or saying yes, I say, I would love to do that. If you could drop the children here and pick them up. Or maybe they drop them here and then I drive them the next day. But I find a way that suits me too. so that it's a win-win situation because I like spending time with them. So you understand what I'm doing? I'm not saying yes to something that it's gonna make me feel bad. I am saying yes, and I am placing my condition. Yes, I would love to do that if you could drop them off. And then they will say, absolutely, no problem. They will drive 1 hour and a half, drop them off, and then drive 1 hour and a half, pick them up. If I have time, we will maybe share the drive. But you know, it's a win-win situation. Exactly, Trish. It becomes something that you feel well about. And it becomes something that the other person feels supported with some tweaking. So that's a great way of creating a common ground, a happy balance, I will say. Okay? Yeah, and that's pretty much what I have for you guys. I don't want to keep going because time is up, but these are some of the key essentials of this book. I honestly invite you to read it. It's an amazing book that all these concepts, guys, when you read a book, it's nice to like put it in your mental capacity and using your logic, but you have to embrace it. You have to emotionally embrace the concepts of the book. You have to actually embody them. And the only way for you to embody these things is by practicing, is by experiencing the situations that you have to put yourself into. That is the work. The name of the book, it's called Essentialism. Okay? Can someone please type the name of the book? The audio version is great while you are on a walk. Yeah, absolutely. You can listen to the book too. Yeah, but remember that every book that I recommend, remember that you have to embody the things, you have to practice them, you have to really grab the things that you feel connected with and make them happen in your day-to-day life. Start practicing them. Start observing how you feel. Start observing how you react. Start observing how other people react to you. And you're going to be facing difficult conversations. You're going to be facing difficult behaviors, difficult dynamics change. But it's part of the process, guys. It's a part of the process. When you change, everything else is gonna change too, and that's a part of life. And sometimes that change is not gonna be well received by some people. They won't understand what's happening, and they just need clarity. They need you to support them through this change. And the way for you to support them through this change is by clearly communicating what is it that you are doing and why. And instead of you saying no and going away, you can say, hey, I'm saying no today, I'm taking a little bit of time because you know what? I'm on Inside Timer and I'm doing these live sessions with Emilio, or I read this book, or I watched this documentary and I felt inspired with this concept, and that made me think that maybe I can change how I behave, and that's why I'm doing this with you. I'm just practicing. I hope you don't take it bad, but this is what I'm trying to create. I noticed this, so I'm trying to create a healthy boundary for this. And sometimes people are not going to be open for you to hear all this crap, right? And if that's the case, I'm sorry to say that most likely that person is going to evaporate slowly. That's just what's going to happen. If you keep growing, if you keep changing, if you keep becoming more and more aware, and there are people around you that they are not willing, they don't want to, you try to be clear and they still don't want to do that, you have to respect their position too. You try your best, and energetically speaking, you're just gonna drift away. You're just gonna separate naturally, and that's just part of life. How many times you guys had best friends when you were younger? Those best friends disappeared, a new best friend appeared, best friends for a few years, and then they disappear, and then a new best friend came up into the picture. How many times that happened, right? And maybe you have one good friend that stayed for the whole process, but it's not the friend that you spend 100% of your time with, but you still have a great connection with specific things of life. Okay? So you just have to be open-minded to those changes too. I love your scripting. It helps in knowing what to say and how in a loving way. Thank you, Becca. There are people who come into your life for seasons, and so if that person cannot respect my no, then they are not meant to be in my life. Veronica, it's you are not, yeah, I agree with that, and that's beautiful. You are not pushing them away. They are going away because you are staying clear with your boundaries. You are staying clear with your position, right? You are being honest with yourself, and you are being the person that you want to be. And that person is not going to maybe attract the same people that you were attracting before, because you're gonna have different habits, different routines, different dynamics that are not going to suit other people the same way that they used to. And you just have to pay attention to those things. You have to embrace them with love. You have to support them. Some people may go away and they may come back after a little bit of time. That may happen too. That happens especially with family members. It's too much for them to understand. It's too much for you to explain. And then you kind of drift away for a while. But then maybe they are connected on social media. Maybe they are aware of what you are doing. Maybe they see the progress. They have time to digest what's happening. And then you are still there. Anytime they call you, you are loving, you are respectful, you are curious about their lives. So they know that you are there and they may come back to you. So there are so many things that can happen, but you just have to be okay with how things unfold. That's a good perspective, Cecilia. I just put a hold on the book for my library. I will begin the first step while I'm waiting. Amazing. Good job. Thanks, Vidi, for the book title. Thank you so much for typing it. Okay, guys, do you have any questions before I go? I just wanted to remind you, some people donated. If you felt value from this session, and you can support me, I will really receive with love a donation from you if you can. And if you cannot, you can support me in many other different ways. You can share my live sessions with other people. You can follow me. You can enroll in my courses. I have 2 courses right now here on Insight Timer. One is about self-care. It's a 10-day course, and the other one is about embracing minimalism. It's very related to essentialism. And I dive deeper into, it's a 14-day course, that one. It's called Embracing Minimalism in Your Life. And if you are a Members Plus, it's free. You can enroll there. And I would love if you can participate in the course classroom. Just share what's coming up for you in every session. Okay, share any questions you may have. And Insight Timer really rewards me for engagement. So that's a great way for you to support my work if you cannot place a donation. Okay, I will be doing a special session on Monday about helping you. So it's gonna be a session where I'm going to help you how to create your peaceful and clutter-free home. It's gonna be a conversation where I'm gonna dive deeper into whatever questions you guys have. And then I'm gonna take all that information, the main takeaways, and I'm going to include them in the course that I will create. I am creating my 3rd course, and it's gonna have that name. So creating your peaceful and clutter-free home. Because that's my expertise. That's what I have done for 9 years with people. And I think that that's something that many people need. Thank you. I will check out your courses. I'm excited. Thank you, Beth. I can't wait to see you in the course classroom. Same for you, Chandra and Cecilia, everybody. Thank you so much. Do you guys have any questions before I go? Perfect timing for me. Amazing. On my way. Your wisdom is so valuable. Thank you, Becca. And guys, don't forget to join my circle if you haven't yet, because I am going to share a video from the author of the book, okay? A video that he explains the main takeaways. Sometimes watching a video, it's nicer. You can see the author, he's expressing his opinions and the why, and I think it's really nice. So join the circle. I will share that video there for you to have, okay? And and I will see you on Monday. You are changing the world. I'm just trying to spread the word. I'm trying to make people a bit happier, and I'm also getting happier for those who are also doing great stuff here on Insight Timer and in other platforms. The circle name is Your Thriving Lifestyle. Let me see if I can type it easily. Your Thriving Lifestyle. There you go. So that's the name of the circle, guys. Feel free to join. And then I will post the video there. I'm starting to post resources after every live so that you guys can have access to other things. Some stuff is my own stuff, and some stuff is gonna be from other people that I found very valuable. Oh yeah, lifestyle, sorry. So yeah, I just started the 14-day course. I will participate in classroom. I had no idea that helped. Thanks for the info. Yeah, Danny, and for everybody here, the best way to support teachers in their work, if you cannot donate physically like money, it's by leaving reviews in the course, and by the engagement of the course is what pays us the most, teachers. Okay, so for every piece of engagement in the course, we teachers receive money for it. So that's because they want an engaged community, and they are promoting and like they are encouraging teachers to like be active, participate in the course classroom. Because guys, let's face it, you are taking the course, you may have a lot of questions, you need support, you need accountability, you need something else other than listening to the course, and that's how I can support you. When you take the time to share, even if it's a win, if you go to the course, you will see that there are like over 50 comments already from people. I always make an audio response. I always try to give you insights, to give you feedback. I celebrate your progress. I try to be helpful in a way, whatever flows that time for me. I will read your message, I will connect with myself, see what flows through, see what I feel you need from me, and then I will just share that in an audio. 2 to 3 minutes to 5 minutes, depending how long. So that's what I try to do, and you can get that if you take the course. Thank you for explaining this process to support teachers. Yeah, this is the best way to support any teacher here on Inside Timer, guys. Okay? Yeah, the audio responses, I love doing them. Guys, the fact that I can read what you guys are sharing, and I can see the progress of people, and I can be more specific about sharing specific challenges that everybody's facing, is just so powerful, because first, it motivates me to keep doing this. Second, that person is receiving what they need. And third, all of you who join the course after, you can read those things, you can listen to all those things, and you can find most likely answers to the questions that you already have. So I hope that you guys can have the time to do it. Yes, we didn't know how support was for the teachers. Yeah, so that's the best way. I love the course audio responses too. Yeah. Okay, guys, if you don't have any more questions, I'm gonna let you go for the weekend. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend, and I will see you on Monday for a special session about how to create your peaceful and clutter-free home. So I hope to see you guys there. The event is already created. I will share it in the circle too. And yeah, if you guys don't have any more questions or comments, I will let you go. Namaste. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Love you all. Have a great weekend. And I can't wait to be back on Monday. Okay? Thank you, Kathy. Going now. Adios, guys.